So it's real. It's actually real this time. I feel like I need to keep saying that to myself out loud just to believe it. Final Fantasy Tactics, the Ivalice Chronicles, is here. It's not just a rumor anymore. We're getting a remake of one of the best games ever made, and it's coming way sooner than I thought it would. Is it September 30th yet? Because if not, I'm gonna go freeze myself into that. Okay, excuse me. And with all that said, my buddy Retro Brandon, if you guys don't know, is a diehard fan of tactics games. So I'd like to check in on him and kind of make sure he's doing all right.
They did it. They actually did it. You're finally coming back. Oh! Sorry you had to see that. Seriously though, Final Fantasy Tactics is an incredible game. What you love about the job system you get in games like Bravely Default, Final Fantasy V, or Final Fantasy III for that matter, is optimized in this game, and it is incredible. And honestly, some of the things that we saw just in quick screenshots, the way you can see the class paths and things like that, are gonna make this game so good. Do not skip this game. This is probably one of the most overlooked Final Fantasy gems of all time.
This is not just an outlandish rumor online or speculative tweet of, Square Enix hiring for a new strategy game that's in development. This thing actually exists. It got a trailer and it's real, and it upgraded so many more things than I actually expected to. So with all that said, let's get into it. Let's talk about it. Let's discuss what they showed off here, because there is a ton to unpack. When I saw the reveal during the State of Play, I didn't just feel excited. I felt super relieved, for lack of a better word. It was like this constant hope I've been carrying around finally got to breathe a bit. This is one of those games that shaped how I think about storytelling in JRPGs, how I understand tactical gameplay, and even how I pick and choose which games I enjoy playing today. And now, I, like many of you, are super excited to revisit it with modern polish, new voices, and many other new shining features as well. I don't want to just play this game again. I really need to, and so do you. If you haven't played Final Fantasy Tactics, or if you've just wanted to get into tactical games in general, this is the one. This is the one you must play. And when September 30th comes around, you have to lock in. This has to be on your list. This has to be the game that you play. Let's get into it. All right, so let's talk about the announcement itself, because even though we've had hints for years, the way Square Enix unveiled the Ivalice Chronicles felt super respectful. Like they knew how important this game was to people. The trailer opens with those wide, painterly shots, and then you hear it. That unmistakable music. It was an incredible feeling that I honestly have had a hard time describing. We get those isometric battlefield views, classic animations, recreated in high definition. We're getting new full voice acting here. That was the moment it hit me. Like, this isn't just a remaster. This is a full remake of one of the best games ever made. Visually, it's not trying to be flashy or trendy. It's clean. The sprite work has been reimagined in a way that feels faithful without being overly nostalgic. Character portraits look more expressive, lighting effects are subtle, and the terrain elevation actually pops now. This looks and feels like the original, but with a ton of modern polish here. It looks gorgeous. I mean, I was honestly completely blown away from what I saw in this trailer. And then they even mentioned two modes, one that modernizes the visuals, adds new voice work, quality of life tweaks, and one that lets you play the classic War of the Lions art style and script intact. I tweeted out and said, what's that emotion called when you scream, cry, and dance all at the same time? That's the one I felt at the time. I couldn't believe it. That dual approach in this case is incredibly smart. It shows that they're curating a piece of their own history here and really care about what fans think of these games. Every time someone asks me what's the best Final Fantasy game, I hesitate because it's really hard to choose. And on any given day, that could change. Because look, I love 10. It's my personal favorite and probably the one I look back on the fondest, but also 9 is incredible. And 7 is incredible. There's so many great ones. 7 Remake was a modern masterpiece, but if you made me choose what I thought was the Final Fantasy game that was closest to perfect, I would say Final Fantasy Tactics, and not because of nostalgia, though yes, the PlayStation startup sound still gets me every time, but because this game holds up so perfectly well. In fact, it goes beyond holding up. It still outclasses most of the tactical games in the genre today. And with all that said, let's talk a little bit about gameplay here. The job system here is probably the deepest and most flexible in any strategy RPG ever. And yeah, I know most people say that a lot, but this isn't just about grinding to unlock cool classes. This is about finding weird synergies, building your own broken units. Every choice matters. Height advantage, turn order, status effects. This game taught me how to think tactically. It's not flashy, it's not forgiving, but it's immensely rewarding. It's the kind of game that makes you feel clever and then turns around and humbles you with some, random critical hit from a chocobo or something. And I love it for that. This remaster is really important for a lot of reasons, and not just to me personally, which yes, it very much is, but to the whole genre. Because for too long, Final Fantasy Tactics has been this kind of quiet legend, the game that inspired the genre's resurgence, that kind of paved the way for games like Triangle Strategy, that made hundreds of indie devs fall in love with grid-based combat, and now it's finally getting the remaster we've all been dreaming of. It's being brought forward, not just as like this weird nostalgia trip, but as a game that still has something to say. I can't wait to play it again, to kind of agonize over different job paths, all part of the magic. There is a ton to unpack in this game, so yeah, I'm excited. Genuinely, deeply excited about Final Fantasy Tactics. This remake couldn't have come at a better time, not just because I love this game, but because I think this might be the moment people finally recognize Final Fantasy Tactics for what it really is, one of the greatest RPGs ever made. I'll be covering the Ivalice Chronicles as more info drops, and absolutely be doing a full breakdown when it releases on September 30th. It's coming to basically everything, and as someone who just picked up my Switch 2, I know where I'm going to be playing this one. If you're as hyped as I am, drop a comment below, tell me your favorite job combo, or let me know if you've played the game yet, or if this will be your first time playing Final Fantasy Tactics. I really would love to gauge what everybody's thoughts are on it, and until next time, I'm out.